Welcome to our webinar. We will start in 5 minutes. Please stay connected. Hello, everyone. We will start our webinar in 3 minutes. Please stay connected with us. We will start our webinar in 1 minute. Okay, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our event for students who are willing to study in Schaffhausen in Switzerland in the fields related to computer science, software engineering, and quantum software engineering. Constructor Institute is proud to offer 2 master's programs to respond to the most in-demand jobs in technology, science, and business. The first master program is in computer science, software engineering, and leadership, and the second one, master's in quantum software engineering and computer science. So let's go quickly through the agenda. Of today's meeting, and today our speakers will tell you more. Why to join Constructor Institute, what programs we have, and what career path you can choose and get after receiving our degree. You will hear from our alumni of Constructor Institute about their study experience, as well as some insights and advices. After these main sections, there will be one more very important section about how to apply to university, what scholarships we have, and how to receive this financial support. And at the end, we would like to present a little bit more about Switzerland and Schaffhausen, where our institute is located. So these topics will be covered within the next hour. And after these presentations, we will wrap up it with Q&A session. Stay with us and ask your questions. So my name is Olga Kornienko, and as you already understood, I will be your host today. And I would like to introduce our speakers. Professor Dr. Bertrand Meyer, Provost and Head of the Chair of Software Engineering at Constructor Institute. Professor Dr. Manuel Oriel, President and Head of the Chair of Quantum Software Engineering at Constructor Institute. Caroline Meyer, Student Recruiting Specialist, and our alumni, Zacharias and Sarah. It's very nice to see you here today, and thanks all the participants who joined. Welcome, and let's start. And now I would like to give a word to Professor Dr. Bertrand Meyer to tell you a little bit more about our first master program in computer science, software engineering, and leadership. Bertrand, please join us.
Thank you so much, Olga. It's always a pleasure to present our program. We're very excited about it. If you go back to the previous slide and my beautiful picture, maybe I should say a couple of words about myself, so that you have an idea who is talking to you. So my field is software engineering. I've always been involved in software engineering, which I would define as the discipline of creating high quality programs, programs that work, programs that stand the test of time, programs that can be improved and maintained and adapted over many years by many people. So this is a very challenging area which raises many difficult issues. And I've been focusing on a number of these issues in programming languages, in programming methodology, program design. And basically my goal, my mission, so to speak, my scientific and technical mission is to make programs right, to help the world produce better software that works, software that doesn't crash, software that does not have security leaks, and so on. And I'm known mostly for my books. That's one of the things I've done, writing a number of books which I hope have helped people master technologies over the years. And I should also say that, like some of my colleagues at Constructor Institute, I'm not a pure academic. I'm not just a professor. Much of my career has been in industry. And so I try to maintain this double perspective of both research on the one hand. I'm definitely a very dedicated researcher, and industry and practice on the other hand. And you will see that this kind of dual academic and industrial spirit pervades all that we do, and in particular the master program that I'm going to present now. So I'm going to detail the 6 points that appear on this slide: the scope, the program, the people, the teaching methods, the partnerships, and the scholarships. Actually, the scholarships, it's more for my colleagues to talk about, but I'm going to talk about the first 5 points. So in a nutshell, what's original, what's really, please leave it. What's original about our program? Well, the scope is really original. There are computer science master programs out there, lots of them in good universities. There are fewer, but still a significant number of software engineering programs, focused specifically on software construction and software management. And you also find management and leadership programs, but not so much in technical universities, so much more in business departments. So, in other words, you find MBAs, masters in business administration, which train leaders. What you don't find commonly, actually, I don't really know of any similar program anywhere, is a program that combines everything. And this is not a figment of our imagination. It's not a great idea that we had just by ourselves. As you'll see, we have a very powerful network of colleagues in all branches of industry and management, in large companies and small companies. And we went around when we created it, before we created this program, we went around and asked them, what are you really missing? What are the pain points in your hiring of people, technical people? And they said, well, we can find developers, we can find managers, but what we have lots of trouble finding is people who have both kinds of skills, both sets of skills. That is to say, people who understand the technology, software technology, IT technology, and at the same time can lead a team, lead a product, lead a department without being fooled, so to speak, by the technology and by the developers. So this is a need that is really dire in the industry, that is that's very important in the industry, and this is the need that we are trying to fill with this program, which is original by involving uh, courses and contributions in all three of these areas: computer science, software engineering, and digital leadership. So we have this program that prepares students for leadership positions. I'll give some examples of such positions in a few minutes. We give access to research and business leaders, this whole network of decision makers and the decision opinion leaders that I mentioned already, and to which I will come back. We have very active and innovative teaching methods, what we call agile distributed flip learning. I'll come back to this as well. We offer students considerable opportunities to meet lots of people in research and industries through partnerships, through contacts, through various opportunities, and of course we offer scholarships. This will come at the end. So and now I'm going to detail some of these points. So, as I mentioned already, we have a program that offers a unique blend, and I should really say unique. This doesn't really exist anywhere, including in the best universities, in the top universities. Technical skills, management skills, and leadership skills. We cover all three areas with the intent of training a fully educated, fully formed technical leaders who are able both to understand the most advanced elements of modern software technology and to understand the human and psychological and management aspects of leading a product or leading a team. Next. So to be a bit more concrete, our curriculum reflects this triple focus on technical skills on the left, management skills in the middle, and leadership skills on the right. This list here is not complete. It gives an indication. It has the most important courses, but not absolutely all of them. It's also not organized by time. It's not a schedule. I will show the schedule in a few minutes. So this is just a list with where the order is not significant. But let me I'm not going to go through the whole list of courses, but let me give you a couple of examples of the courses. So quality engineering, the first one on the left, this is taught by my colleague Mauro Pezze, who is one of the world's experts on testing. He wrote one of the basic textbooks on software testing. So he talks a lot about testing in that course, but beyond testing, he talks about all the techniques that make it possible to produce high quality software. The second course listed here is my course. I'm a very passionate teacher. I mean, it's an important part of what I do. I really love teaching, and I particularly love teaching software topics, of course. And this course, SCAE, as we call it, software construction, architecture, and engineering, is a kind of concentrate of modern techniques of software development and management. We get students with diverse backgrounds. We pride ourselves on accepting people with not just one identical profile, but people who come from various initial training. Of course, most of them have a bachelor's degree in computer science or related discipline, but there's a lot of variation. And so this course is designed to bring everyone up to speed and up to the same level so that they can uh, understand the software aspects of all the other courses that follow. It's a first semester course. Then you see that we cover many areas of computer science and software engineering, cyber protection, and system protection. So 2 courses on security, data science. It doesn't quite show it here, but we have, of course, a very strong focus on machine learning and AI techniques. We also have an introduction to quantum informatics, which is not so common yet these days. So these are some of the technical courses. Then on the management side, we have courses which you will not find in a typical computer science program: product vision, strategy, innovation, and marketing. So how does it take to, what does it take to bring a product from initial idea, from initial vision to actual market and financial success? Product design, portfolio management, analytics, transformational change management, which is very important in a company. You know the saying that the only constant is change. This is very true of modern business. So it's important to manage change. You cannot resist change, but you can manage it and put it to good effect. Programmatic marketing is another example of a course in this area. And then leadership courses. The border between management and leadership is not absolutely clear cut, but you see the difference here in the title of courses. Organizational behavior, industrial organizational psychology. I've never seen a computer science curriculum that had such a course. If you find it, is going to be more in the psychology department of a university, but it's very important for future managers. Agile leadership, customer-centric mindset. In my entire studies, I went through very good schools, but I don't think to exaggerate perhaps a little bit, I don't remember ever hearing the word customer. Okay? The customer was not something we talked about. I studied engineering, again, at a very high level. So we had lots of equations, lots of theorems, lots of techniques, lots of methods. And then when I moved to computer science, lots of languages. But customers, do we even know what a customer is? I'm exaggerating a bit, of course, but this is typical of the spirit of traditional programs. And here we want to make sure that we talk about customers, because in the end, that's what makes the success or failure of a project, whether the customers, the actual people, are happy with the result or not. Entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship, we have a very strong entrepreneurial spirit at the Constructor Institute and in general in the Constructor group of which we are part. And we want our students to be entrepreneurial, and some of them actually become entrepreneurs. So we have to put them on the right track there. So this gives you an idea of the curriculum. As I said, it's not absolutely complete, but it's a good representative subset. Next. Well, one of the features of our setup is that we work closely with a number of industry leaders who give us their advice. Most of them are members of our strategic advisory board, which determines the strategy of Constructor in the long term, beginning with the founder of Constructor, the Constructor group in general, and Constructor Institute in particular, who is the second person in the first column, Serge Bell, who is a very successful entrepreneur, known in particular for founding and bringing to success 2 companies, among others, Parallels and Acronis, which is a very successful backup and security company. And he is now focusing much of his efforts to developing the Constructor group with the intent of increasing knowledge and education and technology, and favoring the development of technology, research, and education. And some of this network, which I'm showing here, is his own personal network, people who he has met over the years in diverse aspects of business and science, and who he has convinced to become active in the Constructor ecosystem, such as, for example, at the bottom right of this slide, Konstantin Novoselov, who is the youngest winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics in 50 years or so for his discovery of graphene, and who actually is the chairman of our strategic advisory board, or people like Bruce Score, who is a very well-known expert in agile and in general project management technology. So you see the diversity of people whom we involve in our strategy and who are very accessible to us, including to students when we need their advice. Next. I mentioned that our teaching methods are innovative. So, of course, we use traditional teaching techniques such as lectures, but we don't stop there. We have what we call blended on-site remote working teams. So some of the students, as many as possible, are local in Schaffhausen, but not everyone is able to come right away. And so we are equipped to deal with remote attendees as well. And I should say here that we put this in place, we put this system in place before COVID. So, the whole world moved willy-nilly to a remote form of communication, and in particular education, because of COVID. But we started earlier. So when COVID came, it wasn't sure to be a change for us because we were ready. So we tried to get the best of both kinds of techniques. And it's all, as a teacher, definitely like being in front of an actual classroom with actual people. There's no substitute for that experience, but we also appreciate having people who are remote, and we try to get the best of both worlds. We it doesn't stop there, in the sense that when we teach, we have quite original techniques. In particular, we use a lot of flip learning. Flip learning means that the focus moves from the great professor in the lectern to the students. For example, in my class, I have recorded in my SKE class, the software construction, architecture, and engineering. We have recorded the key lectures, and so we invite the students to watch the videos before the class, so that the class itself becomes a dialogue where I basically sit there or stand there and wait for questions. And it gives a very useful and practical, and I think effective, I hope, effective way of learning. In a traditional setting, which I practiced, of course, for many years, you realize at some point that there are many questions that never get asked because there's no time, or because some students are too shy. And then by having this flip learning, in which the focus moves to the classroom, to questions, with the teacher just standing there, waiting to clarify misunderstandings, or to go into new directions. Because when students ask something a bit out of the ordinary, it's not always a misunderstanding. It may be some new idea that you hadn't thought about. I think it really yields a much more interesting and interactive form of learning. And of course, since we have students here in this virtual room who will talk in a few minutes, you don't have to take my word for everything I say, because you will be able to hear from and interact with actual students. Continuing with the list here, we provide, on the same slide, we provide direct experience with industrial projects. So we are very much industry oriented, and in particular for master thesis and sometimes for summer internships, we help students find industrial projects. We have excellent instructors from Constructor Institute and partner institutions. We provide seminars by some of the people whom I mentioned before, and guest speakers in talks. And we also increasingly use technology support, including in the future much more AI-based technical support for teaching, for assessments, but also for feedback, for example. Next. We are a research-oriented institution. We're not just an educational institution. So like the top universities of the world, we combine what we hope is high-level education with advanced leading-edge research. Our research is still in its early stages, and it's mostly focused on the left part of this diagram, of this slide. The slide describes the envisioned situation. Some of the vision is realized. The rest is still in the making. So we have a very strong focus and a very strong expertise in software engineering. We also in the middle of the picture here, you see quantum software engineering, which is one of our areas of development, in particular with the chair of quantum software engineering, whose leader will talk to you in a couple of minutes. There's research elsewhere in the Constructor group with which we keep close connections on cybersecurity, on robotics. There's a very powerful effort to design and develop autonomous systems. And then in connection with other groups, research on advanced materials, as well as digital learning, point 7 there at the top right. We, in close connection with our own teaching efforts, we develop or work with people who develop digital tools to support learning, including, as I mentioned already, AI-based tools increasingly, and digital sports. Next. We have a very strong focus on practice. When I described innovative modes of learning, I mentioned my own practice, but each of my colleagues has his or her form of flip learning and active, interactive learning. You will hear in a few minutes about the Capstone project, which is a very original part of our program, which enables you to work in a group and to develop actual systems, actual meaningful systems over several semesters. This is not something that I've seen in any of the program I know. We provide you possibility of summer internships for full immersion into industry. Our master thesis is original. Of course, most master programs include a master thesis. In our case, we have 3 variants offered for choice to the students. A kind of classical master thesis done on a research topic provided by one of us, one of the faculty members, but also an industry thesis or a startup thesis. So you choose between those 3. An industry thesis is based on a project developed in industry with one of our partner companies, or possibly a company that you find yourself. It's still the master thesis, so it needs to have some solid technical or scientific value, and there's always going to be a member of the faculty who co-supervises it, but it's not research. It's applied. It's useful to a company. And the third variant, the startup thesis, is quite popular with our students. The idea is that the thesis consists of preparing a business plan, a lot of brainstorming, and usually an MVP, a minimum viable product, for a product or a project designed to be developed as part of a new startup company. And so this has been very popular with our students, and we've seen quite a few interesting projects as part of this startup thesis possibility. As mentioned already, we offer seminars by various visitors, and we offer career opportunities with both established industrial partners and startup companies. As already mentioned, we have a very strong focus on entrepreneurship. Next. I mentioned that we are trying to train not just developers, although there's nothing wrong with developers, of course, not just managers, although there's nothing wrong with managers, but people who have both sets of skills. And so here are some of the potential positions that our graduates can aim for: chief architect, chief product officer, chief program officer, chief development officer, chief security officer, and some other CXOs for which the X doesn't necessarily exist yet, but you get the idea. It's that we have people who understand the technology, and we hope they understand it in depth, but are also more than technical people and can actually lead a team to achieve business objectives. Next. So I gave a partial list of courses earlier, and I said it was not organized according to time. Now this is the schedule, or rather the schedules, because we have a flexible scheduling which accommodates various needs. So most students take the classic schedule, which is the one that appears first here, which is over 4 semesters. So it's in the standard European Bologna form of 120 credits. ECTS means credit point. This is the standard for European style master's degree over 4 semesters. And you can see that the last semester is semester 4 on the top right is entirely devoted to the thesis using one of the 3 variants that I described a minute ago. And there is a summer break, which is almost 3 months and which can be used any way you like. I mean, if you want to go to the Maldives and swim, that's fine. But you can also use the opportunity to take an internship in a company, and a number of students do this. Then the other 2 are variants of that for students who want to complete the program faster or more slowly. So why more slowly? This is the last one, the part-time. Well, it's not that you it's not the aim is not to take it more slowly, but simply you may need to take it more slowly because you're working, and this program is definitely open to people who are working part-time. We do expect that students devote at least 50% of their time, because otherwise it's just not going to work. I mean, the program is not that easy, and you need to devote enough attention to it. So less than 50%, I wouldn't try. But if you can devote 50% or more to the program, then you don't have to graduate in 4 semesters. You can do it in more semesters, and we are quite flexible there. And in the middle, you have the fast track. This is the other way around. It could be, for example, for someone who is sent by his or her company to complete the program before returning to the company, and then he wants to complete it as quickly as possible. So the idea here is essentially that we compress 4 semesters over 3 by taking advantage of the summer. So you can see the details. The thesis is a little bit smaller. It's 18 credits instead of 30. It's done over the summer, and you take a little more time to, I mean, the overall thesis is still going to be the same number of credits, but you are going to do some of the thesis starting in the 2nd semester for approximately 6 credit points, and complete it over the last semester, so that in the end you can complete the whole program with an equivalent amount of material and an equivalent amount of master thesis work over 3 semesters rather than 4. So these are the variants, and as you can see, they provide enough flexibility to accommodate many possible cases. So I think this is it as far as I'm concerned. And of course, I'm staying along so that if you have questions about the program, I will be happy to answer them during the Q&A session. Olga, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bertrand. Yeah, dear participants, thank you so much. I see that someone raised hand. Please ask your questions in the chat right now, and we will reply to them at the end of our presentations. So, and right now I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Manuel Oriol, President and Head of the Chair of Quantum Software Engineering at Constructor Institute. And Manuel will tell a little bit more about Capstone project and also about one more master's program. Manuel, please join us.
Yep. So, hello everyone. The first thing is also I will do like Bertrand. I will talk a little bit about my my past. Like Bertrand, I have a long past in industry, but before that I was in academia. So I did a half time in academia, half time in industry, and now I'm back to academia. So that's for the extension, the time extension. So I have done quite a bit of research on software engineering, especially software testing. And when I was in industry, I worked for a company called ABB, and ABB is a large industrial giant. And I worked there on real-time systems and on software architecture for a number of software systems. So maybe you can go to the next slide. So when I was asked to teach a course on a project course, basically I realized that most project courses at university are taught for a very small group of people, right? And what we do in this project course is different. We actually have larger groups of people. And with a larger group of people, one of the things you can do is to develop larger projects. So if you ever dreamed of developing your own web application as a cohort or as a tribe, as a group of 20, 25 people, then this is what you should be following. So this example is an example that is familiar to Zacharias and Sarah because they worked on it actually. Next. So what is the capstone project course? Basically, it's a course that goes over 3 semesters, and there you will actually go from nothing, from ideation, from an idea, to something that is as close as possible to a product. And I can tell you that it's the 3rd cohort that is finishing now, and they are so close to a product that I hope they will create a startup with it. They are taking all the steps. And you do this yeah, you can switch, that's fine. And you do this in a context where it's a safe context, right? Because you're taken by the hand a little bit, but not too much. And you propose your ideas. Then there's a way to choose ideas. And then you create demos. Then you have the initial proof of concept in the first semester. Then in the second semester, you start really implementing things. So software architecture, sprints running for implementing the first aspect. And then in the third semester, because you had to rush to finish in the second semester, right? Everyone is rushing to finish for the deadline. Then you have to basically fix all the things that where you cut corners, that what we call repaying technical debt. And then we work on integrating advanced concepts like AI or cybersecurity. And it's not an or, it's an and. It's both of them, right? Okay, next. So the main learnings are presented here. Creating and proposing mocks, requirement solicitation. This is what you would actually see as a complete experience for starting a new product. What is important here is it ties a lot of the or most courses that you have otherwise together and enables you to see what works in practice, what doesn't, what it is that you have that you know and what it is that you don't know. And in general, what we see in projects, smaller projects that you might have done before at university, is that it's very easy to organize yourself because you have 4 people, 5 people in a group, and then you do your project, right? But when you have 25 people, organizing yourselves, handling discussions, difficult disputes sometimes is also part of the exercise. And at the end of the course, I think we have people who have a much better understanding on how to work together, how to work in industry, how to work in a group of people, which is not an easy thing. Next. On top of this, we have many guest speakers coming from industry. You see here, I put a smaller list, but normally we have between 5 and 6 speakers per semester. These people are real practitioners. They are not people whom who are not doing the work but just can talk about it. So you have many people who are from IBM, Zulke, ABB, of course, because I mean many of them are my friends or former colleagues. So I invite them to come and present because I know they have something to bring to the table. Next. So this is about it for the capstone project. I'm also privileged because I'm heading I'm the director of the Quantum Software Engineering and Computer Science Master Program. And there you can see the topics are similar to the computer science, software engineering, and leadership. But one of the things that we do is we focus on quantum informatics. So you still have all that what you would be able to learn for computer science or software engineering in most cases. You still have the same leadership and management part of the program, but you focus a few courses and your projects and your program on quantum informatics. And so what we think is that it's a good program for people who are physicists but want to code or know how to code already and want to learn software engineering, because it's very useful actually. And also it's a very good program for computer scientists who are very curious about quantum computing. To be fair, quantum computing is a growing field. It's not yet the driver for jobs that you could potentially expect, but in the next few years, it has a very strong potential. And the fact that you have software engineering and quantum computing in the mix is adding to your employability. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manu. And right now, I would like to introduce our alumni, Zacharias and Sarah, who will tell you a little bit more about their experience, insights, how they studied with us, Constructor Institute, and also give some advices. Sarah, Zacharias, please join the meeting. Yeah.
Yep, we're here. And so, hello everyone. This is Sarah Safuri, and I graduated from Constructor University Institute last summer. No, the summer before. And I'm here, and I'm very thrilled actually to be here to tell you that it was such a really good master degree that I took. It was my second master degree, so I took one before. And there is one thing that I would really want to mention is that the modules are very interconnected together. So this is something I've never experienced, not in my bachelor degree or the first master degree. Okay, so every module, you're going to find a connection right to the other module. And through the whole 3 semesters that you will have modules, you can really relate from one module to another. So this is something that I haven't experienced before, and this is something really, really good. It's also good to, from a personal side, to experience such a diversity in one university. I mean, we were like early 20 students, so maybe 21 or 22 students, and from 19 different nationalities, which is crazy. So that was such a really, really good experience with our dish parties. Yep, those are my friends. We had a really, really good time. And besides, of course, Switzerland is a beautiful country. We lived in Neuhausen am Rheinfall, and this is for example, my apartment was straight in front of the waterfalls. And oh my God, seeing those images bring a lot of nostalgia, and I'm very happy to be a part of this webinar. So in case of any student have or anyone has a question, they can just write in the Q&A, and I'll be happy to answer whatever the question is. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Zacharias, please tell about your studies. Yeah.
I'm Zacharias. I'm originally from Ethiopia. I do have a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering, also a master's degree in computer science and software engineering. I'm basically an alumnus of Constructor Institute, where I got my master's degree. So today I'm here to share my journey with Constructor Institution as a student, as well as alumnus. So back in 2019, I just graduated from my bachelor's and joined the software industry as a software engineer shortly. Soon after, I just realized that I was facing some difficulties with properly aligning to this quickly evolving as well as very competitive industry. And then that's when I started to search for a university which can equip me with the proper skill sets. So besides of having some other options, those are the reasons which really changed my mind to carry on my master's program with Constructor Institute. The first one is, of course, the in-depth experience of the professors who are running the program. It's just like a testimony for my, let's say, for my success in the industry. And the second one is, as it was mentioned by Professor Meyer, the flipped blended learning scheme was really important for me back then because I was working, so I had to study at the same time. So this scheme was really perfect for my need. And the last but not the least one is the opportunity to come to Switzerland was really a game changer and important milestone for my career. So those are the main reasons which really made me to decide to continue my study with Constructor Institution. And during the study, I really enjoyed the quality engineering course from Professor Petse, and the software construction from Professor Meyer, and the capstone project which was presented by Professor Oriol. Those are really, really important courses for me because first of all, they addressed the initial lack of skills which I was really required. Also, at the moment, I'm using them in my day-to-day like working activity. So as Sarah mentioned it, we were not only like studying, we were also having very memorable moments with our professors as well as with the internationalized community. And at the moment, I'm working as a software engineer in one of Constructor sister company called Constructor Tech here in Zurich, Switzerland. Thank you so much. As Sarah said, if you have any question, you can keep in touch with me in person. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah and Zacharias. It's very nice to see you today here and your photos of your students' life. And I would like to tell that for all the participants, if you want to watch more interviews from our alumni and also faculty, you can check the video we recorded like several months ago. I think for this, please scan a QR code you have on your screens right now, and you can see the video after our webinar. But while we are here, you have unique opportunity to ask your questions to all our speakers and also to Sarah and Zacharias to know a little bit more. And we for sure address these questions after the last presentation. So let's go to the next slide, and I will like to introduce Caroline Meyer-Sharma, student recruiting specialist, and she will tell about very important part. Yeah, I see that you already asked about this in your questions, is how to apply to university, how to apply to international students, to Constructor Institute, yeah, what scholarships we have and how to get the scholarships. Caroline, please, I give word to you.
Thank you, Olga. It's a pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you for attending, and I'm happy to give you more information about our admissions process, how to apply and to come study at Constructor Institute. So we'll start with fees and scholarships. So our tuition fees are listed there, 10,000 Swiss francs per year for EU and EFTA students, and 20,000 Swiss francs per year for non-EU and non-EFTA students. And so the early bird special that we have been talking about, it's finally time to announce that we are happy for our early bird applicants to give a discount of 1,500 Swiss francs per year for EU and EFTA students, and 3,000 Swiss francs per year for non-EU and non-EFTA nationals. So further ways to fund your studies at Constructor Institute. We do have two types of scholarships. One that covers the tuition, that waives tuition, the tuition that I was just mentioning, with an administrative fee per semester. That still remains, but waives the majority of the tuition. And we also have a full scholarship that waives tuition and gives students a stipend, monthly stipend, while they're physically located in Schaffhausen and studying in the program. These scholarships are merit-based, and in awarding these scholarships, we take a look at the application documents that you submit to us and that I'll talk about in the next slide. So academic results, professional experience, and the admissions interview. So now that you know everything about Constructor Institute and you want to apply to us, how do you do that? So you go on our portal, our application portal, and submit the following documents. So our requirements are not extensive. We just want the main information that helps us establish if you are a good fit for the Institute, and if we as well, if the Institute is a good fit for you. So we ask for diplomas and transcripts indicating the classes you've taken and the grade you've received, motivational letter to let us know a little bit more about yourself and why you want to study with us, your CV, updated CV and resume, so we know more about your professional background, whether internships, if you're just still finishing your undergraduate degree, or professional experience if you're already in the workforce. We do have some documents that are optional that can help us in the process, but do not that we don't require. So an English certificate and letters of recommendation. And so once you've submitted those application documents, again, either by January 15th for our early bird applicants or on a rolling basis until the 30th of April, we are in contact with you to schedule a 20-minute interview with a member of the Constructor Institute faculty. So that's what is that interview? It's a 20-minute interview where we ask you some technical questions about computer science and software and engineering. And we ask you, even though we do have your resume, your CV, to tell us a little bit more in your own words about yourself, your motivation, and it's a last chance for you to ask anything to the faculty member about the program and your interest in it. So once you received the required documents, we scheduled and had the admissions interview, then we get back to you with your admissions decision, both your admissions decision and your scholarship decision if you've applied for that. So if you've been admitted, then many of you will need a visa to study in Switzerland. And so we help you, give you the admissions documents and help you with a checklist to apply for your visa. Excuse me. And so why Schaffhausen? We've talked about, others have talked about Switzerland and a wonderful place to study, to live and study. Schaffhausen in particular is a small city by many standards, but very innovative, very focused on economic development and welcoming startups, welcoming companies, technology companies. And so for that reason, both that and the beauty, the quality of life, closeness to Zurich, Germany, it's a great place to come and study and then possibly start a professional career after. So here we give you an estimate on the cost of living in Schaffhausen in Switzerland, a bit of a breakdown. So that is, hopefully I've answered your questions about the admissions process, and we're happy to answer your questions at this point. I see that we have received a few questions. I'll answer a few of them. and then we can open up again for more questions. Joseph, I hope I've answered your questions. So during the application process and on our portal, you'll be asked if you would like to apply for a scholarship and the required documents, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much, Caroline, for presentation and explaining how to apply to Constructor Institute. Yeah, so, and with this first answer, I would like to open Q&A session fully and ask our speakers to switch on the cameras. I also see that our program manager of Constructor Institute, Flavia, joined us as well. Probably she will also reply to some of the questions. And dear participants, you have like about 5-10 minutes to ask your questions. Please feel free to text them in the chat or in Q&A section in the Zoom. So, and the first question I would like to address, I think, to Bertrand and Manuel, is about quantum computing part of the degree. Manuel, can you please reply on this question? To elaborate a
So
little bit
this
more.
is the... So yeah, I think this is for Manuel.
I'm sorry, I don't see the question. Which one is
I had seen it, but I don't see it anymore.
If possible, can you elaborate more about the possible quantum computing part of the degree?
Yes, so so we have a course that is quantum informatics, that is at the core. For the computer scientists, there's also a course that is an introduction to quantum physics, so that you understand the basis. And then you have a third course, which is advances in quantum computing. And one of the things that you have to do also is the capstone project course should have a tribe that is actually focusing on quantum. At the moment, you saw we have we indicate that in capstone it's a cohort that is producing a in a web application. It's actually a tribe, because this year we have something more than one tribe in the cohort. So we have 3 tribes, and one of them should be focusing on some quantum computing project. And finally, you have your master thesis that should be on quantum software engineering. So that means on these 2 topics, everything is open to you. So that's in total, that's a if you really calculate the complete thing, that's around 60 credits that are related to quantum computing.
Thank you so much, Manuel. I hope, yeah, we replied on this question. And I would like to move to the next one. Joseph Isaac from Ghana is texting that he holds bachelor's degree in information technology, and he's asking if he's eligible for the program.
Yeah, I think I can answer that. Bachelor's degree in information technology in principle qualifies. We would have to look, of course, at the list of courses that it includes, and then make sure that it includes fundamental courses on topics such as data structures, algorithms, and other key components of computer science. But depending on countries and universities, you have a wide variety of degrees and names for those degrees. You know, sometimes it's computer science, sometimes it's computer engineering, sometimes it's information technology. So what matters is the content of the degree rather than the name. And yeah, it should qualify you, but of course we will check the list of courses that you've taken. And as Caroline mentioned, we always interview students. Okay, we have a technical interview, so we will check whether you have the technical background which is necessary to succeed in the program. In your question, you said that you want to pursue master's research in cybersecurity. So just to make things clear, This is a master degree that covers a broader field than just cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is one of the topics. And if you want to do your master thesis on cybersecurity, we can support that. But the program is not by itself specifically focused on cybersecurity. So I mentioned 2 courses that are specifically devoted to cybersecurity. There's actually more than that in the program, but it's only part of the topics.
Thank you so much, Bertrand. Yeah, and I would like to move to the next question from the participant from Tanzania. Yeah, I'm expecting to graduate by January 2025. I just wanted to ask if I can still apply for fall 2024 intake.
Yeah, so this is a bit delicate. I don't think I can absolutely answer yes or no. It depends. So it depends in particular of what you need to do between September 24 and January 25. If you still have a full semester of courses to take at your university, BRAC University, Bangladesh, and I don't think it can work out because I don't think you can take in parallel courses at the bachelor's level in your home university and courses at the master's level here. I mean, I don't think it would work. If, on the other hand, if you have completed the courses and it's just a matter of getting of the degree being given only in January, then we can then it's doable. We would probably ask for some kind of letter or note from your university confirming that you will graduate even if you don't have the official degree yet. So if not, if you're still taking classes at BRAC University, Bangladesh, between September 24 and January 25, then I think it's more for next year. Okay, but don't worry, the program will still be there next year.
Thank you, Bertrand. And we have a list of questions regarding admissions, and probably Caroline, Bertrand, maybe you or Flavia can help with this. And one of the questions is from the same participant. Are the full scholarships available for international students?
Yes, they absolutely are. We don't discriminate. We don't give just to specific nationalities. They are, every applicant is eligible for the full scholarship, to be considered for the full scholarship.
All our scholarships are merit-based. Okay? So it really depends on your academic performance.
Yeah, the next question regarding admissions. Is there application fee?
No, we do not currently have an application fee.
Mm-hmm. And one more question, Caroline, please tell one more time about how to apply for scholarships.
Indeed. So in the application portal, there is a box to check to let us know that you would like to apply for a scholarship.
Mm-hmm. And one more question is about visa. Should students have block account for their visas?
A very good question. So the Swiss authorities do not require that you have a blocked account, but they do ask that you provide proof that you have sufficient funds to support yourself while you're studying in the program and living in Switzerland. So for our scholarship students, that is a letter from us indicating that we are giving you the scholarship, the monthly stipend. And for other students, it's they who are not receiving the full scholarship do need to provide to the authorities proof of sufficient funds to support themselves, but not officially in a blocked account.
Thank you, Caroline. Ahmed, I hope we replied on all your questions. If you have more, please feel free to reach out to Caroline. She will help to answer your questions. So we are moving to the next one. Will students in Constructor Institute get a chance to study double degree in partner universities? Manuel,
I think
Bertrand, yeah, can I ask
I
you?
think I can answer at least part of that. The short answer is yes. You have to work at it, but you have to be active and make it happen. But it's possible. In particular, we have a close cooperation with a great university in Germany, which happens to have the same name as we do. Of course, not by chance. So we are Constructor Institute. They are Constructor University. They're based in Bremen, and a number of our courses are conducted in collaboration with them, meaning that their students take our courses and the other way around. So some of the courses that you go in the CSSCL program that I presented, Computer Science, Software Engineering, and Leadership, are actually taught by instructors from Constructor University Bremen. You can take all these courses from Schaffhausen, but there's also the possibility of spending a semester or more in Bremen, and same thing for their students. They can come to Schaffhausen, and it's possible to arrange to get a degree from them as well. It's not automatic. You have to apply for it and make sure that you fulfill the Bremen requirements as well as the Schaffhausen requirements, but it's doable. But in any case, or a double degree or not, you will get some courses from our partner universities, in particular, Constructor University Bremen.
Thank you, Bertrand. And one more question. I studied a bachelor electrical engineering, but worked as IT professional in web development ever since. Could this be considered?
So the short answer is yes. I've interviewed many students applying for our programs who had this kind of background, and some are qualified for our program, some are not. So the key question will be, I mean, we appreciate, as I mentioned before, we don't want a single form, a single profile of students, all the same for the students we hire. We appreciate some diversity, and so people with a computer engineering background are interesting for us in principle, provided they have enough of the computer science background as well. So, for example, if you want to prepare from right now for the interviews and for the program in general, I would suggest that you brush up your algorithms, data structures, databases, operating systems background, which may not have been so strong in your computer engineering degree. Making assumptions, but in my experience, maybe sometimes these aspects are not completely as strong in a bachelor's degree in computer engineering. So make sure that you revise everything you have been taught about these topics. Let me mention them again because they're important. And maybe add a couple: the data structures, algorithms, databases, maybe operating systems, as well as programming languages and programming methodology. So you may have had courses on these topics in your curriculum. Maybe they were not so important in the focus of your degree, so consider them important now. And if you're missing some of them, then read. Get a textbook on one of these topics and read about it to complement your knowledge and fill any holes that you might have in your knowledge. One extra topic that I did not mention is theoretical computer science, the theory of computing. So let me list once again the relevant topics on which you might want to check the widths and breadths of your background: data structures, algorithms, theory of computing, operating systems, and databases. So if you can brush up your knowledge in these areas, either by going back to your courses or by reading some textbooks, then I think you'll be equipped to enter into our program.
Thank you so much, Bertrand. We're already out of time. I hope we replied on all the questions. We haven't received any questions to our alumni, Sarah and Zacharias, and I would like just probably, Sarah, Zacharias, you remember yourself sitting on such webinars and trying to apply to scholarships to Constructor Institute. I just want you to give advice with one sentence to our participants who is on the webinar right now. Can you please give some word advice? Thank you.
So I'll emphasize, but so I would say that once you join the program, you will see that it's different. It's not like any other program, and whatever you study when you go to market afterwards, you will relate to a lot of things. And I just advise that it is a really good opportunity, and do your best to apply and apply also for the scholarship. See your chances. Study a bit before that, so that you're able to solve all the questions and so. But yeah, best of
Thank
luck,
you.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, so and right now on the screen you can see our email, masteroffice@constructor.org. If you have any questions, please feel free to text to this email, and also you can see a web link where you can apply to Constructor Institute. Thank you so much, everyone.
Maybe if I just may, if I
Yeah.
may just add a brief word to what Sarah just said. Of course, we enjoyed very much having Sarah and Zacharias among our first students. The interaction with them has always been very pleasant from our side, and one important aspect of the program, which you can already, I think, guess from their comments, is that we have a good personal relationship with our students. We have a small group of students. We know everyone. I mean, we know everyone by first name, and we have many opportunities to talk informally with our students and understand them not just as numbers but as people. And we definitely intend to continue that with, I hope, the same caliber of students that we had in the past with people like Sarah and Zacharias.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. Yeah, thank you so much one more time for everyone who attended the webinar. I hope you already copied email to send more questions and to apply to Constructor Institute. Thank you so much, and looking forward to see you in Switzerland. Yeah, bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.